Hello, this is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. Please hit that like button, share the video, and subscribe. But really hit that like button for me. It seems like a lot of people forget to hit that. So if you like my videos and you like my content, if you could please hit that like button, I would appreciate it. Alright, so today's video is going to augment yesterday's video. It is another 360-degree video that I filmed in 2023 in December, just before they tore the house down. In fact, it was the next day that it was torn down, and I think this is probably some of the last footage that exists with the full structure still there. So let's just take a look at this first. And look, there's the retaining wall that you'll see in the video that I just took without the building there. So just remember where things are. There's the retaining wall, and we'll just keep moving forward. And so that means right off the retaining wall, and then even to a little bit to the left is where the patio goes, and then around the corner is the sliding glass door. Now I think we determined yesterday that it would be a very simple spot to go down right next to this final tree here, I believe. I think it's that one. And you just go down, and then right back in that corner you could lay down some blood spatter mitigation, plastic bags, whatever, and before you go in, get it set up and then go into the house. I think Brian Kohberger entered the house at around like 4:12 or 13. The investigators sort of did a run through of the homicides and said it would take between 2 and 4 minutes, or could take as little as 2 to 4 minutes. And I've made videos where I did like a 3D model and went to each room, and we just sort of sit around and wait for 7 minutes. We did one for 9 minutes, and the 7-minute one was just way too long. Now, I remember people would always say, there's no way one person, but yes, they can. When you have 4 drunk people, or really intoxicated people, late at night, tired, and he's got a K-bar knife and he's jacked up, he's going to go in there, and I don't think it was difficult for him. I'm sure he had to battle with Kaylee a little bit, and maybe Xana, but I don't think it was difficult for him at all. And you know, he does the killings and then he leaves the house. Now, I made an animation myself back in May, and there's a more recent animation made by I think a crime scene reconstruction woman out there, and her animation and models are really cool. It seemed like it was almost exactly even the same camera angles as the video that I put out in May for some of the portions. So hopefully she watched my video, and maybe she came up with some ideas from that. Like, for example, when Xana goes into the kitchen, she notices the sliding glass door was open. That's exactly what I put in my animation when I put it out a while back. So I'm going to put that animation here just so you can have a visualization of what may have happened. So maybe he parked right there and then walks down and then goes around the back of the house. And so here's the video from yesterday that we showed, that I just took recently, the day before the announcement came that Kohberger was going to plead guilty. So if you look, there's the retaining wall right there. And so that means the patio is just right back there. And then you see there's a tree here, and then there's this tree, and I go up on the last tree, it looks like. Yeah, so I go up right when right next to the last tree, and it's easy to get up and down right there. So let me go back a little bit, maybe back in here. Yeah, so I think that's where the patio is. And here's where you come down, and that's the retaining wall, and he probably parked right up there. Alright, so let's play the animation right now so you can try to visualize having a car parked there at 4:08, by the way, I mean, I want you to know that that was at 4:08. And let me just go above and show you. So when the vehicle came around here at 4:08 and 47 seconds, the headlights hit this building right here, at the top of this building, which is 1127 King Road. So when the vehicle makes the part B of the final pass, so as we remember, at 4:05 and 56 seconds or so, it comes in like this, drives back here, and then does a 3-point turn. Let me use this object here. It'll make it a lot easier to see. So it comes in like this, the white Elantra, and then it drives back here. Then it does a 3-point turn, comes back out, slowly driving by, then does another 3-point turn over here, and then comes around, and then at 4:07 and 47 seconds, the vehicle is coming around right here, and the headlights from this vehicle, the white Elantra, which is Koberger's vehicle, and he's driving it, the headlights hit the top of this building, which is 1127 King Road. So that means it's going to park, let's just say 13 seconds later. Doesn't that make sense? It turns, and then it's going to park at around 4:08. But I don't think he went into the house until 4:12 or 4:13. So I think that's really interesting to think, what was he doing for those 5 minutes? Was he doing another couple minutes of surveillance to make sure that there was no movement? And then he did his blood spatter mitigation. He got out the plastic bag. He placed it. I think he was probably already dressed to go, other than having a balaclava on. You wouldn't want to be driving around with a balaclava on your face on the streets. I mean, you would look pretty suspicious. So I think he had everything on except the balaclava. And then he had like a change of clothes. And then he also had like maybe a plastic bag. And then when he laid that all out, perhaps on the side of the house, and then when he goes into the house, commits the homicide, he comes out, and then he takes his balaclava off with his gloves, probably puts that in the bag, then he unzips his dicky outfit and then folds it over himself, and then kind of steps out of it, and then takes his gloves off last, and then puts them into the plastic bag, and then kind of rolls it up, and then maybe puts it in another plastic bag, and then in his trunk. Now that dramatically minimized the blood spatter in his car, but as we know from Bill Thompson, he was so paranoid that he meticulously cleaned the car, almost even disassembling it to make sure that there wasn't one tiny little bit of blood from the victims in his vehicle. All right. So let's play the animation right now and just kind of visualize the car parking there and him walking around, maybe putting the blood spatter mitigation right here, goes around and then through the sliding glass door. All right. That's Brian Koberger. He's attacking Madison Mogan. And Kaylee wakes up and tries to fight back, kicks him a little bit. And downstairs, Dylan Mortensen wakes up. Xana is heading to the kitchen to put her DoorDash bag. And when she goes into the kitchen, she notices that the sliding glass door was open. And then upstairs, there's still battling going on, and Xana hears it. And then she goes around and then heads on upstairs to see what the commotion is. And Kaylee's still fighting him, maybe, at this point. And then Dylan is hearing more noises, opens her door. And then Xana just carefully kind of creeping around, looks in there, and that's when Kohberger sees her and then chases her. Encounters her near the room, perhaps. There are some rumors out there that some of Xana's blood was on the wall, you know, up on the 3rd floor somewhere, or on the stairs. So, I mean, that will... obviously that means she was attacked up there. And right there he killed Ethan on the bed, and now he's carving his legs. We don't know what that means, what the carving meant. Then he sits down, perhaps out of exhaustion for a moment. They said he sat down in a chair. And then my theory is, I mean, he could have said, "It's okay, I'm here to help," many different times. Like, I don't know where he said that. At different times is what I mean. But I have it where you'd only say that to somebody that's already observed something bad or been attacked themselves. So I wonder if Xana actually started getting up after that, because she wasn't actually dead, and then he notices her, and then he goes, "Hey, it's okay, I'm here to help." And then he actually kills her, and then that's the thud sound. And then this is when he leaves. So he probably leaves the house right around like 4:18:30 or something. And see, that's when Dylan saw him and the bushy eyebrows. See, right there, boom. And then Kohberger leaves the residence. And then when he leaves the residence, he comes out there and then cuts across, and maybe right over here is where he is taking off his bloody clothing, etc. Down below here. Then he goes around like this, and then he would make his way up this little tiny bank here. It's very easy to just step down, and then you're on that bottom level where the house is. So right there, goes up, and then he gets into a vehicle, probably parked the other direction. This is just like a side alley. I don't know if anybody would care if you were parked backwards. This car is facing the correct direction. So let's say you were parked right there, and then he gets in the car, and then he drives away at a high rate of speed around that corner and out. Right around there. Now I'm going to probably make another video that just sort of shows all the main elements, the different surveillance video shots, the animation, and then the car leaving at a high rate of speed, and then, you know, heads away at a high rate of speed. I have another video that I created where I show a 360 degree of the route that I think he took back. So if you go up in the air here, I think he may have come out here, and, you know, law enforcement has it where he goes on 95 and then he heads over this direction and then comes back out. But I think it's very possible that he headed all the way out this direction and then down like this and around. I have this whole thing mapped out, and then makes his way down to here, comes down, and then goes this direction, and guess what? That's Blaine right there. And then that takes you right out to the highway, and you get there at about 4:48, exactly when his vehicle said he was there. So this is the route that I think he may have gone to completely throw off any tracking of him, and he just randomly shows up on Highway 95, and he turns it on his phone. And I think he does that because he doesn't do what I think in that other animation that somebody made. She's saying that he went down here, and that's not what he did in the probable cause document. In the probable cause document, he comes over here and he goes across in these real rural areas, and then comes across this direction. You know, he's near Uniontown, and he never made it down here though, and he is near Janice. So right here he's near Janice, and I think the cell towers indicate that he didn't go down here, that he went across up in this area. So he comes down, and then there's these different roads that you have to take that come around, and then up all the way back into Pullman, Washington. And I've actually driven it, even that route that goes across, and the timing is exact. And we know that there are 16 minutes of missing time, that when the vehicle left the residence at 4:20 and 47 seconds, it should have been near Blaine at 4:32. However, it pinged there at 4:48. So that's why this alternate route that I've come up with that drives all the way around and then cuts back across is a good possibility. But to be fair, he could have gone anywhere. If there's no cameras, we don't know where he went until his phone turned on near Blaine. Now, it's also impossible for his vehicle to have pinged at near Blaine at 4:48 and then go to Wawawe Park, which is way over here, and then be back in Pullman with your phone pinging by 5:30. It's absolutely impossible. All right. Well, I mean, I guess if you drove 100 and something miles an hour, but is that what you're going to do after a homicide and draw all of law enforcement's attention driving 100 miles an hour? I don't think so. I think he was driving normal speed, didn't want to be detected, and just kind of casually drove his vehicle back home. So when you're watching this video, let me know in the comments what you think. If you could hit that like button for me right now, that'd be awesome. And then I'm going to be putting out more of the 360-degree video analysis that I was doing. I had a camera on top of my vehicle driving around in various places, and I'm going to show you this route that I believe he took on Nevada Street right here. I think he went on Nevada Street that night when he was leaving, again, trying to avoid cameras. He drove this direction and then around and then down and then out here, and then I'll put it together in a video and you'll see how the timing's absolutely perfect for driving by Floyd's Cannabis Shop at 3:02. Okay, that will be the next video. All right, well, leave a comment in the comments section. Let me know what you think. Again, hit that like button. I appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. And make sure to subscribe to my channel, because I have tons and tons of different videos. I have mapped out everything in this case. I have the timeline in an Excel spreadsheet that we use. And as more and more information comes out in the coming weeks, we'll put it all together for you, and it'll be easy to understand. But so far, the information that Bill Thompson's put out is exactly word for word almost of what we've been saying for about a year now. All right, so again, thanks for watching, and as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.